India's young protesters are bloodied but unbowed, a headline that captures a scene unfolding in the heart of New Delhi. The story began the day after a forced dispersal of a protest that had gathered thousands around the historic Jantar Mantar Observatory. These young Indians, united by what they see as a broken education system, had marched toward Parliament on Monday, demanding accountability and a promise that would secure a brighter future for their generation. The police response was swift and hard-hit. Officers in batons appeared, the air filled with tear gas, and shouts of order spread through the crowd. Philippine throwing of flip-flops and water bottles became a small act of defiance, while many protesters slipped through alleys or side streets, choked by the green fumes. Witnesses described how police swung their staves over heads, cracked, and struck the shins, calves, and backs of those attempting to move forward. Despite the violence, the next day the same thousands returned with the same resolve. On Tuesday rain fell, yet the protesters were as present as ever, steady in their chants and signs. They began to rebuild broken tents and stages removed by security forces, refusing to let the disarray break their determination. At the center of the movement stands Abhijit Dip, founder of the Cockroach Janata Party, a satirical movement turned into a voice for frustration across millions of young Indians. Dip has declared the protest will continue indefinitely, calling on the crowd to emails remain peaceful. The toll was real. Delhi police reports say 118 officers were injured during the violent protests, while lawyers' groups documented around 70 protesters detained. On Monday, 150 protesters were taken to hospitals with injuries to shins, calves, and backs. These numbers give a glimpse into the human cost of an event that has turned a street corner into a proxy battlefield. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has not offered a direct response, but his Parliamentary Affairs Minister, Kiren Rijiju, spoke on Tuesday through an emissary. Rijiju said, "The safety, security, and future of our reunion are our priority," and promised that the government would take steps to prevent future leaks of exam papers, a trigger for the protests. Anakin the PM rarely answers critics, so Rijiju's remarks may indicate the weight the army places on the youth protests. With over 40% of India's population under 25, the government cannot ignore a movement that threatens to become a political risk. Yet, criticisms persist that the state has offered little more than a vague priority statement and a pledge to tighten inspirational standards for exam papers. The DALF failed? The protesters already demanded the resignation of India's education minister, holding him accountable for a shoddy system and leaks in entrance exams that forced millions to retest. The future of these young voices remains embedded in a stark dialogue between hope and frustration. Will the government listen, or will the protests continue until the system changes? Time holds the answer. Thank you for listening. Stay informed, stay engaged, and remember that the actions of today shape the future of tomorrow. Lambda Epsilon.